So in today's topic, we are going to discuss about reference qualifiers, guys. A reference qualifiers is actually one of the dictionary property, like mandatory, like read only, display, default value, dependent value, choiceless specification, calculated value. Reference qualifier is actually one of the dictionary property. Okay. So these reference qualifiers are available only in the reference and list type of fields. So if you go to the form, if you go to the finance case form, if you go to the finance case form, you can just click on show form. In the form, color is a reference field. So in the reference field only, in this reference field only, you can use reference qualifier. Configuration item is also a reference field. So in this field only, you can use reference qualifier. And again, assignment group is a reference field. Here you can also use a reference qualifier. Assign to is also a reference field. And list type of field. Here also we are referencing here. So in the list type of field also we can use reference qualifiers. Okay. So in the short description field, we can't use reference qualifier. In the description field, we can't use reference qualifier because these two are string type of fields. Okay. So we can't use reference qualifier on the category field. You can't use reference qualifier on the resolution code field, resolution note field, knowledge field, resolved by. Resolved by is a reference field again. Here you can use reference qualifier. Okay. The reference qualifiers can only be written in the reference and list type of fields. Okay. Fine. The reference qualifiers are used to restrict the data, the reference list type of fields. Here, if you clearly see here, reference qualifiers are used to restrict the data. To restrict the data. So here, whenever you click on the magnifying glass, you are able to see the data, right? This is data. So how many users I am able to see? 706 users I am able to see. I don't want to see all the 706 users. I want to see only the users who belongs to customer support department. I want to restrict the data. So whenever I click on the magnifying glass, I'm able to see 706, right? Instead of 706, I want to see the users who belongs to customer support department. So that is how I will restrict the data. So here also, when I click on this magnifying glass, I'm able to see 2,784 records data I'm able to see here. I don't want to see all those records. I want to see only computer class. I want to see only computer class configurations items. I want to see. That means I want to restrict the data to only computer class. Okay. And here, whenever I click on the assignment group here, I'm able to see here I'm able to see 640, 64 groups. Okay. So I don't want to see all the 64 groups. I want to see only particular groups. Okay. To restrict the data in the reference field, we will use reference qualifier. Okay. So well, guys, so here also we are able to see 706 data. I'm able to see here. In the watch list, I'm able to see 706 users. I'm able to see. I don't want to see all the data here. I don't want to. I want to see only particular data here. Okay. Getting my point, right? Okay. First, I will restrict the data in the color field using reference qualifier. So I can directly go to the color field by right clicking and configure dictionary. Hmm? Let's see reference specification tab here. Use reference qualifier here. So reference qualifier condition. So here department is customer support department. Okay. I have restricted here. I have restricted the data. Okay. So now if you take a look at here, whenever I click on this magnifying glass, so how many users I'm able to see here? Earlier I was able to see 706 users. Now I restricted it to only customer support department users. I restricted it to only customer support department users. So every time whenever I click on this magnifying glass, I'll be able to see only 146 users. I'll be able to see only customer support department users here. So here in the caller field, we are referencing users, right? Okay. We are referencing users. So in the database, normally, how many users are there? 706 users are there. Go to the users. So how many users are there? 706. Usually, whenever you click on this one, you will be able to see 706. So later, what I have done, I have restricted here using advanced reference using reference qualifier. What is the reference qualifier condition that I kept? Department is customer support. If you keep here, department is customer support. Yeah. So you can see 146 users with the customer support department. Okay. You are able to understand, right? How to restrict the data in the reference field and all. Hmm? Okay, fine. So I want to restrict the data in the configuration item field. So I am going to the configuration item field from here using configure dictionary. Go to the reference specification tab where class is computer, computer class. Okay. Now, if you take a look at here, whenever I click on this magnifying glass, so earlier I was able to see 2,700 configuration items I was able to see. Now I restricted it to 814, where class is only computer. Okay. I am able to restrict the data in the configuration item field or not. Okay. So similarly, if you go to the watch list field, in the watch list field, here I'm able to see 706 users here. Out of these 706 users, I want to show only active users. So we'll see how many active users are there here. True. Okay, there are 695 active users are there. So out of 706, we have 695 active users are there. So I want to restrict here in the watch list. I should be able to see only active users. So I go to the watch list field, right click configure dictionary. Okay, where active is true. Whenever I click on this magnifying glass, I'm able to see 695 users. So I am able to restrict the data or not? Hmm? Okay. So that is how you will actually restrict the data in the reference field and list type of fields. Okay. Well, guys, in the reference qualifiers, we have three types of reference qualifiers. Simple reference qualifier, dynamic reference qualifier, and advanced reference qualifier. Okay. There are actually three types of reference qualifiers. Okay. Whatever the reference qualifiers that we have seen three reference qualifiers, right? That comes under simple reference qualifiers. Simple reference qualifiers are used for fixed conditions. Fixed conditions. So we are able to see only customer support department users in the caller field. We are able to see only computer class configuration items in the uh, configuration items. We are able to see only active users in the watch list field. That is a fixed condition, fixed query. If it is a fixed condition, you will use simple reference qualifiers. Okay. Okay. Fixed condition, you can also call them as static condition. Fixed condition, static condition, both are same. For dynamic conditions, we will use dynamic reference qualifier. Advanced reference qualifier is also used for dynamic condition. So what are the dynamic conditions? We have to understand first. Okay. I am going to create one more field here called affected caller field. Right click, configure, form layout or form design or form builder, anyone you take. It is a reference field. User field, user table I am referencing. So you have affected caller field I created. My requirement is whatever the caller that I selected here. This caller, see, in a nutshell, the caller value, the caller field, affected caller field, I should not be able to select the same value. In the caller field, in the affected caller field, I should not be able to select the same value. So suppose here I am selecting system administrator, guys. Let me remove this simple reference qualifier. This reference qualifiers topic is important one. Okay. So here I'm able to select system administrator. So here also I'm able to select the system administrator. As per my client requirement, in the same value should not be able to same value you should not be able to select in two fields. So that means if you are able to select system administrator here, you should not be able to select system administrator here. So this value should be restricted here. Getting my point? This value should be restricted here. Suppose if you are able to select able tutor here, able tutor value I have to restrict it here. If you are able to select Abraham Lincoln here, the Abraham Lincoln value you have to restrict it, you have to restrict here. If you are able to select Aline Morton here, so Aline Morton value you have to restrict here in the affected color field. So the condition is dynamic here. Condition is not fixed. Condition is dynamic. Earlier, same condition. Department is customer support. Here, whatever the value that you selected in the color, that value should be restricted in the affected color field. Here you may select whatever the value. You may select whatever the value. Suppose I am selecting Abhay Patil here. Abhay Patil value should be restricted here in the affected color. Whatever the value that you select in the color field, that value should be restricted. There is no fixed condition. Getting my point? So that is where you will either use dynamic reference qualifier or advanced reference qualifier. We'll create a dynamic reference qualifier first. Hmm? So to create a dynamic filter, dynamic reference qualifier, you have to go to dynamic filter options. You have to go to dynamic filter options. Okay. So here you have to write the dynamic condition. The condition should always be in the strings. Whatever you see in the double quotes, that's a string. Condition should always be in the string. Always remember, the condition should always be in the strings. String means anything that you see in the single quotes or double quotes, that is considered as string. Okay. Getting my point? System ID, this underscore ID. Whenever you get the value, current dot get value, you will get the system ID, right? Whenever you use current dot get value u underscore caller, you will get the system ID of the caller, right? So here what I am doing is system ID not is equal to. So this is string. After this one, I am making value as a dynamic. This condition is a string. After this, I am making value as a dynamic. I am using current object here. Current dot u underscore caller. What I am mentioning here is except what is there in the caller, show all other records. Not is equal to system ID not is equal to except what is there in the caller, show every value. So type will be reference, will be user table, well available for reference qualifier. You have to select this one. Okay. And you created a dynamic filter option, dynamic reference qualifier. So go to the form, go to the affected color field. Okay. Go to the affected color field. Go to the reference specification. Click on advanced view. Click on advanced view. Okay. Use dynamic reference qualifier here. So what is the dynamic reference qualifier we have created? No, not the condition. Name of the reference qualifier. affected hmm. Affected color value. This is the reference qualifier. This is the dynamic reference qualifier that we created. I am attaching this one here. I am going here. Okay. So here I am trying to select system administrator name here. Is it showing? It is showing nothing. So I am selecting able tutor here. Okay. This time it will show the system administrator. This time it won't show able tutor here. If I remove able tutor name here, it will allow you to select the able tutor name here. Getting my point. So if the condition is dynamic, you have to either go for dynamic reference qualifier or advanced reference qualifier. Either use dynamic or advanced, anyone. Usually we don't use dynamic reference qualifiers. Either we use simple reference qualifier or advanced reference qualifier. Either we will use so I'm going to delete this particular dynamic reference. Okay, it is not a deleted. Okay, so now this time I am going to create a directly advanced reference qualifier. Right click, go to configure dictionary. Okay, it is obvious. Dynamic reference qualifier is converted as a advanced reference qualifier. It has automatically converted it as a advanced reference qualifier. In the advanced reference qualifier, what we are doing directly, we are using JavaScript colon condition. Condition should always be in the strings. This ID, system ID, not is equal to plus. Guys, color value is dynamic. That is why I am using front object here. Front dot you underscore color. Except what is there in the color, show all the values. Got it right? Except what is there in the color, show all the values. Okay. So I am very talented guy. First, what I do is I will select the system administrator name here. Then I will select the system administrator name here. So what is client requirement? Caller value and affected caller value should not be the same. If a person has selected caller value and after that if he is trying to select affected caller value, it will restrict it. Suppose that guy has selected first affected caller value, then he selected the caller value means it won't work. That means again you have to write a restriction on the caller field. What is the restriction? Huh? Show all the users except what is there in the affected caller. You have to write a restriction in such a way that show all the users what except what is there in the affected caller field. I'm using advanced reference qualifier, JavaScript colon, JavaScript colon, ds dot array. Condition. Condition should be strings. This underscore ID not is equal to plus front dot u underscore affected underscore color. Guys, remember this is dynamic, right? Should not be in the single quotes. This is dynamic. This should not be in the single quotes. Don't keep this current dot affected color in the single quotes. Condition should be in the strings. And this value will be changing, right? Dynamic, right? That is why you should not keep this current dot u underscore affected color in the single quotes. Okay. Just submit this one. So I am trying to select the system administrator value here. It is not allowing me. So when I remove this one, it will allow me to select system administrator value. I am trying to select the system administrator here. What is it telling? Invalid reference. It is not allowing you to select the same value. So here the condition is dynamic here. Getting my point? Hmm? Okay. Requirement which is regarding advanced reference qualifier. See, if it is a fixed condition, you will go for simple reference qualifier. If it is a dynamic condition, you will go for advanced reference qualifier. In the advanced reference qualifier, you will use current object. So guys, we'll go to the configuration items here. Okay. Let me remove the simple reference qualifier on the configuration item. Let me remove the simple reference qualifier on the configuration item. We already kept right one. Okay. See here, I am selecting guy called Beth Anglin. This particular guy has some configuration items assigned. We'll go to the configuration item table. CMDB underscore CI is the configuration item table name. So in the configuration item table, there is a field called assigned field. assigned to. For Beth Anglin, how many configurations assigned? 3 configuration items assigned. So when I select the caller here, Beth Anglin, so in the configuration items, I should be able to see only 3 configuration items because for Beth Anglin, three configuration items are attached. Okay, getting my point. So based on this caller value, the configuration item should be restricted. Getting my point. If the caller has no configuration item assigned, no configuration item should be shown. So then what I am doing, I am going to the configuration item field. Advanced view. Advanced reference qualifier. JavaScript colon. So assigned to field name is assigned underscore 2 guys. In the configuration item, assigned name is technical names. Assigned to field name is assigned underscore 2. Let me open one. Assigned to field name is assigned underscore 2. Assigned to equal to s current dot u underscore caller. Okay. So I'm just updating this one. Just go back. So I have selected Beth Anglin here. Whenever I select the configuration item here, only 3 I am able to see here. Whenever I asset manager related configuration items, there are 2 configuration items which are assigned to asset manager. So I am selecting able tutor. For able tutor, how many configurations assigned will see here? Only 1. For Abraham Lincoln, how many configurations assigned? Configuration items assigned will see here. No configuration items assigned. To restrict the configuration items based on the caller value or not? Caller value is always dynamic. We are not showing the configuration items always the same for the same person, right? You selected that particular caller related configuration items we are showing. You guys are getting my point? Hmm? Okay. So similarly, so here I am selecting particular group here, guys. Power BI developers. So in this particular group, how many group members are there? There are 8 group members. So whenever I select the magnifying glass here I am able to see 706 users, right? Instead of 706 users, I should see only group members here. So I want to restrict the data in the assigned to field to only to this particular group members. Hey, this is little more complex. This requires advanced, a little more scripting knowledge. Just understand, don't try to understand the script part. Script part we are yet to discuss. Okay, getting my point. So I'll write the script. Don't try to understand the script. Okay, just understand that we are populating the assigned to values based on the assignment group. So we are populating the assignment group members here based on the assignment group selected. I am going to the assigned to field. Okay. Advanced reference qualifier. Okay. So here, what am I doing is JavaScript colon. Okay. I am calling the function get assignment group members. Okay. Function. Okay. So here, right, what I'm doing is I'm building the condition. I'm building the condition. We haven't covered the topic, right? You already learned. Very good. So here we are actually querying the group members table. There is a table called group members table. The group member table name is sys underscore user underscore gr member. In that group members table, all the group members will be stored. So let me just open that particular table. See, score user underscore gr member dot list. So in this group member table, all the group members are stored. So in the ISM app dev group, how many members are there? You can get it here. In the Power BI developers team, how members are there? You can get it here. In the group members, you can get the group members' names. So that is why, where is that? I'm querying the this underscore user underscore gr group member table. Gr dot add query. This is condition. So in the group member table, there is a field called group field. I'm playing with that group field. Here I'm using current object. So current dot u underscore assignment group. Gr dot query. Okay. This is the query I'm building. This underscore ID. Okay. Mm. So I am constructing a query. That query, I am constructing a condition. That condition I am actually passing to this particular method. Okay, just to update this one. So I am selecting Power BI developers here. Whenever I click on this magnifying glass, I should be able to see only Power BI developers. So I'm able to see everything. Huh? Somewhere there is a mistake has happened. Assignment group field name is U_assignment group. The restriction is hmm? Field name is group only. So this one, this is one. This is not considered as a spelling mistake, guys. Hmm. Glide record. Hmm. We'll do one thing. Mhm. It should be outside the while loop. It should be outside the while loop. Now it is giving proper. So, okay. So I'm selecting Power BI developers here. Whenever I click on this magnifying glass, I'm able to see only Power BI developers here. Power BI developers group members here. Okay. Whenever I select application development group, only application development group members only I'll be able to see here. So whenever I select ServiceNow developers here, okay, ServiceNow developers group members only I'll be able to see here. Getting my point? So first of all, using this group, I am querying the group members. Those group members only I am showing here. So let me just go to the assign to field. So here I am actually querying the group members with the assignment group. With the assignment group that you have, right? With that group, I am actually querying the group members, and I am actually building a condition with that group member system IDs. I am building the condition. You can see system ID in gr.getValue user, comma gr.getValue user. If there is only one group member, don't use comma. If there are more than one group members, use comma in the middle. So this condition is like, if there is only one group member, don't use comma. If there is only more than one, if there are more than one members in the group, use comma separated. So I have built the condition using this particular line, and I'm actually passing that condition here. So this condition you will get it here. Okay. So that condition is like show only the group members. So instead of using this complex condition, I'll give one simple logic. Okay. I'm removing the reference qualifier. Okay. So then what you can do is you can go to the dependent field. Here you use u underscore assignment group. Assignment underscore group. Okay. I'm not using reference qualifier. I'm using dependent field. Okay. So instead of using advanced reference qualifier, I am using dependent value. Without scripting, I am able to achieve this one, right? Power BI developers. Only Power BI developers group members I am able to see. So this time I did not use reference qualifier. I did use dependent value. So in the in the dependent value, I kept assignment group field name. You understand? So likewise, will be restricting the access we will be restricting the data in the reference and list type of fields. Okay. Hope you guys are clear. Okay. I thought of covering the attributes as well. Maybe we'll be covering that in tomorrow's session. So any doubts regarding today's session? Any doubts regarding today's session? Raj?
Hi, Uday. Hello.
Yes. You can also use dynamic as well. Yes, please, Raj.
So why is that function name is written like that? Like assignment, instead of I, it was written as you, right?
No. Function name can be any name.
Can you just
understand?
open that function once?
Function name can be any name. It is not considered as mistake. Function name, you can define any name.
Okay. Okay, that we have defined, you mean to say.
Yes. That is not predefined, ServiceNow defined one. We can
Okay.
define any name.
Now we got it. Okay.
I think that is gone. This one you are asking, right?
Yes.
This one you can define any name.
Okay.
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 So this reference qualifiers concept is very important, guys. Especially the dynamic conditions. Using dynamic reference qualifier, using advanced reference qualifiers. So either you use simple reference qualifier or advanced reference qualifier. Dynamic reference qualifier, you don't have to use. 99% you either use simple or advanced. You don't use dynamic. You don't even have to consider about it. So dynamic means you have to write extra. You have to do some extra configurations. Instead of doing some extra configurations, you can directly go for advanced reference qualifier. This is an important topic. To restrict the data in the reference and list type of fields, you will use advanced reference qualifiers. Okay. Hope you guys are clear. Okay. Any questions from anyone?
Also, are we going to cover the view rules that you were saying right earlier when you were talking about the views?
View rules. Yeah, definitely. Once I start scripting, scripting we haven't started it. Maybe in a week we'll start it.
Okay.
Sir?
Yes.
Can we use Java qualifiers like public, private, protected?
No, madam.
No, sir.
Hmm.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Definitely except one or two topics. Rest of the topics you'll enjoy definitely. See, 80% of the topics are easy and you'll be able to understand them easily. You'll be able to do it easily. 20% of the topics you feel little bit difficult. The 20% of the topics, don't get afraid of these 20% of the topics. Okay. So there is an 80-20 rule. 80% of the people drop because of these 20% topics. Don't do that, okay? And see you there in tomorrow session. Keep practicing, okay? Thank you, everyone.